let's actually comment out this if else statement here, because I want to show you another way in order to write this line of code here, these lines of code. So I can just type in chx true and true yes dot set checked, and here I can actually put in a Boolean expression here. So I can just put in a pair of round brackets here, and then I can just refer to the name of this true and true variable, true and true, okay, question mark, true, otherwise false. Okay, and this means if the value of this true and true variable is true, then assign the value true to this method, this setChecked method, and otherwise, if the value of this true and true variable is not true, so it is false, then assign the value false to this setChecked method. Okay, so now let's actually create another line of code here, chx true and true no dot set checked, and here again I need to put in a pair of round brackets here, and now I need to put in an exclamation mark here, true and true, question mark, true, otherwise false. So here I am specifying that if the value of this true and true variable is not true, so it is false. Okay, if the value of this true and true variable is false, then assign the value true to this setChecked method that is related to this chx true and true no object, and otherwise if the value of this true and true variable is actually true, so as you can see here, first we specified that if the value of this true and true variable is false, okay, by putting this exclamation mark, we specified that if the value of this true and true variable is false, then assign the value true to this setChecked method, otherwise, and that means if the value of this true and true variable is true, then assign the value false to this setChecked method. Okay, so if this may sound confusing to you, you may want to actually use these if else statements in your codes, and don't worry about using this way of writing your own codes, because now I want to actually show you how you can actually write these expressions. Okay, it doesn't really matter whether you actually write if else statements or write your codes in this way. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So as you can see here, let's actually run our project and see what happens. Okay, as you can see here, it's now showing us the same results. Okay, now as you can see, the value of this yes checkbox is actually on. Okay, the value of this checkbox is true. Okay, so this line of code is actually get executed here. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And let's actually go back inside this content under line main.xml, and then let's actually drag in a linear layout horizontal into this linear layout vertical. So just click on this linear layout horizontal. You can actually put it inside this linear layout vertical, or you can actually click on this linear layout vertical here. Okay, and then let's actually drag in a large text view into this linear layout horizontal here. So just put it inside this linear layout horizontal, and then double click on this text view here. So for the text, just type in here true and false. Okay, and for the ID, just type in, and for the ID, just type in here txt true and false. Okay, and here just press an enter key on your keyboard, and then let's actually drag in two more checkboxes here inside this linear layout horizontal. And by the way, we don't need to actually assign an ID to these text views, because we don't want to actually interact with these text views from our Java codes. But here I just wanted to show you that you can actually assign IDs to your text views in order to interact with them. But for this project, we don't need to assign an ID to these text views here. Okay, we just need to assign an ID to these checkboxes here. So let's actually drag in two more checkboxes into this linear layout horizontal. So just click on this checkbox and then put it inside this linear layout horizontal here. and then double click on this checkbox. And for the text, just type in here yes. And for the ID, just type in here CHX true and false yes. And let's actually drag in another checkbox into this linear layout horizontal. So just click on this checkbox here and then put it beside this checkbox here, and then double click on this checkbox here. So for the text, just type in here no, and for the ID, just type in here CHX true and false no. And then click on this linear layout horizontal, and let's actually find the gravity attribute, and then check this checkbox here that says center underline horizontal. As you can see, it's going to actually center the components that are inside of this linear layout horizontally. So hopefully that makes sense. And let's actually go back inside this main activity.java file here, and then let's actually create some more objects here. So here, let's actually create a comment here. So I can just type in true and false. Okay, so I can just create an object from this text view object, text view class, and then for the name, I can just type in txt true and false. And then I need to cast this object to a text view object, find view by id r.id.txt true and false. Okay, and again, we don't need to create an object from this text view class for this project, but here I just wanted to show you that you can actually create an object from this class and then relate that this object to that component inside this screen and interact with it. Okay, so we need to actually create a checkbox class CHX true and false yes, assignment operator, and then we need to actually cast this object to a checkbox object, find view by id r.id.chx true and false yes. Again, we need to actually create a checkbox class CHX true and false no, and then we need to put in an assignment operator here, and then we need to actually cast this object to a checkbox object. Okay, find view by id r.id.chx true and false no. Okay, so let's actually interact with these objects. So here, let's actually create a comment true and false. So let's actually create a Boolean variable, Boolean, and the name of our variable is true and false. And then we need to put in an assignment operator here. So let's actually assign a Boolean expression to this variable, true and false. And then let's actually put in a semicolon at the end of our statement. And then we can actually create an if statement here, if true and false. And this means if the value of this true and false variable is true, so if the value of this expression evaluates to true, that true value is going to be assigned to this true and false variable. And if the value of this true and false variable is true, then execute this line of code here inside of these curly braces, CHX true and false yes dot set checked true. Okay, it's gonna actually check this checkbox here. As you can see, it's gonna check this yes checkbox here if the value of this true and false variable is true. Okay, and if and else if the value of this true and false variable is false, so exclamation mark true and false, then execute this line of code here inside of these curly braces, CHX true and false no dot set checked true. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense, and let's actually run our project and see what happens.